Right guys, so we're on the motorway, the M1, heading north towards Scotland, towards Leeds, the opposite side of London. We're doing a little bit of motorway driving, so guys pay attention. The left hand side lane is lane 1, the centre lane is lane 2, the lane on the right is the third lane. The lane that we usually drive in is the lane on the left, where the lorry is. We then use lane 2 to overtake anything in lane 1. We then use lane 3 to overtake anyone in lane 2. The far left lane there is called a hard shoulder. If you break down, you are expected to try your best to get into there. The only problem with getting into there is you need to make sure that you have a recovery company or somebody's aware of your breakdown. We'll discuss that in another video. On the left now we have a slip road. You can see the slip road finishing where this marker is, the blue marker, and now we have the hard shoulder again. So it's called a hard shoulder it's also called a smart motorway where and when it's in effect. So we're travelling along this road and we are travelling at a very safe speed. We are doing 69 miles an hour. On the left hand side you can see these 3, 2, 1. They are called countdown markers. If you were to exit the motorway on that road to follow the signs for Wakefield, you would signal left at the number 3 countdown marker, maintain that, and then turn off where this arrow is pointing to the left. Ahead of you now you can see a sign telling you that it's the variable speed motorway. That means while you're driving the car, on the overhead gantry the speed limit could change. So your sat nav may still show 70, but you would be expected to abide by the law, and the speed limit would be shown to you on this black sign here, which is the overhead sign, or the big long sign that you'll see soon. Now as we're looking ahead we can see this lane coming into our lane, so we will move into the second lane of the motorway, which is this one here. Once we know there's nobody in our left arm area, we will move back into the lane on the left, and that would be around now, so mirrors and signal. Now you'll see the BMW has done something quite dangerous the way he's crossing lanes. We're talking about the big Jeep. Either it's an emergency for that person or that person wants to lose their license. Now we have 4 lanes, so there is no hard shoulder. If you do break down, you would need to stop in one of these refuge points, and you will see them 400 yards on the left. The refuge, so where you would stop if you did break down, if you can, would be this yellow area here. Above there you can see a lamppost and you can see the CCTV camera. That camera is focused on the point of where you would stop. So once you break down, what you would do then is you would stop there, and the traffic officer would visit you promptly, and that's like a safe place away from the motorway. As we're travelling along this road, you can see this big sign ahead of us, so with the 4 TV screens, and this is called a gantry. On the left hand side, illuminated in yellow, you can see the speed cameras. So these are information boards, and these are telling you traffic information while you're driving. However, new technology in cars talk to each other. So a bit like iRobot, where cars do talk to each other. I believe they call that CarNet. VWs are doing it, and what they'll do, they'll tell you if there's a traffic jam ahead rather than using the TMC system. So we're following the signs for Leeds. This junction, Wakefield and Dewsbury, is junction 40. How do we know that? It's illuminated in black in the bottom left hand corner. Now this lorry is going 60 miles an hour at its peak, at its maximum. Now if we're going to travel at 70, we will need to change lanes like we've done now to overtake the lorry. You wouldn't stay behind him if you're going faster than him. Now that we have a vehicle in this lane, we need to make another lane change. So we will go into lane 3. So we do our mirrors, we do our signal, make regular mirror checks and slide over into lane 3. And we're looking at the overhead gantry and we cannot see a difference in our speed, so we shall maintain 70. However, if it told you to change your speed for whatever reason, you must abide by that, because by the second speed camera sign there will be a speed camera which will enforce the speed previous to the camera. As we follow the road ahead, we can see this grey car that's not going 70, and we are, so we're gaining on that car. That means we would overtake the vehicle and then come into the lane when it's safe. We are now following Manchester. Sorry, we're going to follow the road ahead. We're not coming off towards Manchester, we're continuing the road ahead. I forgot where we were going for a moment. So we're maintaining this lane until it's safe to go into this lane. So we're continuing following the road ahead. We are following the sign for Manchester, which we can see at junction 41 is ahead. Junction 41 is labelled at the bottom left hand corner. So previously Wakefield was 40 and this is now 41. That means we're going up the M1, not going down. If we were going down the M1, we would then go to junction 39, 38, so on and so forth. So now we're following the sign for Manchester, junction 42. That means we need to come into the lane on the left. Now we can do it before or after this lorry, it doesn't matter to us, but we need to make it rather sharpish because the junction's coming up very, very soon. So for the purpose of today, we're going to go behind the lorry. And we need to make another lane change into the lane on the left. And we can see on the floor that the lane splits. That means the road, we have two roads. And we're now onto a slip road which would lead us into lane 2 of the M62. So we're going to maximise the use of the slip road with very regular mirror checks. We need to watch our speed and make sure we're not going too fast, otherwise we're going to plough straight into the Sky truck. We now need to go into lane 3 to maintain our speed. And if we focus at this blue lorry, we can see the wind is blowing from the right to the left. So we have some what they call crosswind or side wind, and it's coming from the right to the left. That means your car will feel it if you're overtaking a lorry. So if you're alongside a lorry running parallel, you won't feel it until you feel exposed and the lorry disappears. See this lorry indicating to go into the middle lane. The lorry will not come into the third lane. He's only permitted to use lane 1 or lane 2. He will not come into the third lane unless it's an emergency, and he can answer for that. Ahead of you, you can see a sign telling you that the smart motorway will feed into lane 1 and that it would finish here. approaching junction 27. And we are now following the signs for Bradford. We're currently approximately maybe 15 miles away. Now the black cars in the centre lane should have moved to the left. Now we can see the new speed limit ahead of us on the overhead gantry. And we're now going to move into lane 2 on the left. We're now cancelling our signal, maintaining our safe speed. Now if we look at our speedometer, we're doing 57 miles an hour in the centre lane. So we need to either move the car into the left hand side lane if we're travelling at 57 miles an hour, or look at the next overhead sign and adjust our speed accordingly. So we're now going to drop our speed to 50, remain in this lane to let the lorry and the Range Rover come into lane 1. Now when it's safe, we're going to move into the lane on the left, knowing full well nobody's joining our lane from the lane on the left. Now we're going to continue at this speed, and we'll continue while it's safe at the new appointed speed, which is 50 miles an hour. We can also see that the smart motorway is open, so we are now going to signal left and follow the yellow car ahead of us and go onto the smart motorway. We'll now cancel our signal to let the vehicle behind us know what we're doing. Now this would be an ideal opportunity to use our cruise control. So we select cruise on the infotainment system or on your dashboard. Then we click the button down to set the speed. And we set the speed at 50 miles an hour, now going up to 60 miles an hour. And we set the reaction time to 3 bars. Set the reaction to 3 bars. That button there is the reaction time between the vehicle in front and you. So if you look through your heads-up display, illuminate 3 bars, and that will set the gap between you and the vehicle in front. That's fine. When I'm driving in local areas, I keep it 1 bar. When I'm on the motorway, no less than 2, 3 at the most. I don't have it on 4. And that sets the distance between you and the vehicle in front. So we're now following the road ahead. We've got a good speed. The car's automatically slowing down when the vehicles ahead of us slow down. It will then speed up when the vehicles disappear or there's a larger range than the set 3-second gap. So we're now looking at the overhead gantry, and we can see the sign for Bradford, M606 and A58 Halifax. We are following the signs for Bradford, so we are in the correct lane. When the smart motorway finishes, as in when this part finishes where the slip road comes in, we are already in our lane, so we don't need to do anything. We don't need to come off the motorway as such. So we're following the road ahead. We're looking in our mirrors, and because the car's on adaptive cruise control, it takes a little bit of stress out of driving. The cruise control fitted to my vehicle does not have speed limiter, and that's why I keep emphasizing the speed, so we understand what's going on and how it should work. So the cruise control fitted in my car does not have ACC speed limiter. It only has ACC, adaptive cruise control. On the left hand side we will see a sign telling us that the hard shoulder ends, and that's where lane 1 will come into the smart motorway. So we'll turn our cruise control off here and take manual control of the car, and we look in our right door mirror, see what's going on. We give a bit of gas to keep our speed reasonable for where we are, remain in this lane and follow the road down. We are then following the sign for Bradford. I believe it's the 5th exit on the roundabout. So we're looking at right door mirror because this is the point people come into the lane. We will take either lane, it makes no difference. Now that we are in lane 1, we will follow the roundabout round. However, when we're coming down the hill, we'll need to brake a little to get a perspective of how our braking works after a long time of driving without braking. So we brake really firm just to feel the brakes. Yeah, if you want to go, as long as it's safe. Now the lights have been on green for a long time, perhaps they could go red. We're watching the grit that's out and it's summer. So I don't know why the grit is out, but Yorkshire weather I suppose. So we're following the road round and we're going to go as close as we can to the roundabout circle. The lane markings on the floor are telling us we should be in this lane. So we are following the signs for Bradford. Bradford is the 5th exit, 1 done. This is 2, and because it's a gyratory roundabout, like a spiral roundabout, it'll slowly pull you off the roundabout. And you'll see now we've got 3 lanes. So we don't need to do nothing, it'll actually drag you off the roundabout itself. So we're looking at the floor markings as we're giving gas. And we've got M606, so this is good, it's correct. Now we become the middle lane. And we're going to give gas and we'll stay in this lane. And we'll come off in lane 2. So we signal left, we follow the pink van. Left mirror check here and stay on the outside M606. That means we will hit the slip road to start off with. So we're going to go a little faster. And we're looking in our mirrors quite regularly. And we've got a vehicle that's not going that fast, so we're going to come in behind him. He's moved across. Following the road ahead, and we are going to come off by Bradford, and we have a problem to deal with. The problem is the escort vehicle with the large caravan. So we're now going to signal left to come into the centre lane. So when it's safe, we'll come in, and we need to be careful how we go in to the lane on the left. I don't know if I'm mistaken, but that seems to be snowing at the moment. Probably why the grit is out. And we're now coming into the lane on the left. And we'll stay in lane 2. And that, guys, is a motorway lesson. And that's how we drive on the motorway reasonably well. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.